Down payment help or a trap? All right, let's clear this up. Down payment assistance is not good or bad. It's just a tool. And like any other tool, it's wrong if you use it wrong and you'll get hurt if you do it poorly. So, upsides to down payment assistance programs are number one, it gets buyers in the market sooner. The biggest upside is you don't have to wait 5 to 10 years to save up to fifty to $100,000. This is super important for somebody who's just in a job and has been priced out of the market for years and years and years. And the reason why it's amazing to get in sooner, especially in powerful, high cost renters, will be able to stop getting priced out by appreciation, especially when rates start dropping and valuations get out of control. There's a lot of buyers on the sidelines that end up looking up and saying, hey, I'm not making enough. I'm not making enough. Get that raise, get that new position. But then you know what? Priced out because they don't have the down payment in order to qualify. This supports them. Who here has the income but can't stack the cash fast enough? First time home buyers, in my opinion. If you happen to be one of those, please feel free and reach out to us. You can always apply right here. I want to be able to support you in this endeavor. We are professionals here at West Shores Financial, and we get down payment assistance programs. We understand them so well that we've changed lives with the California Dream for All, the Green Line Housing Project, and many, many, many other down payment assistance programs that are in your county, in your city, in your state. We can complete those all. Okay, so moving forward, this leverages good credit and cash flow. So if you have the income and if you have the credit, and in this case, income can be whatever cash flow you have. Okay, it's not just W2 income. It could also be separate maintenance. It could be in-home care that you help your grandparents with, or it could be even your mom or dad that you support with healthcare or with health services, as well as child support. What do you call it? Retirement. All of these things qualify. If it's green and it's ongoing for 3 years, if it's green and it's ongoing for 3 years, these things qualify for income. So if you got enough income and you got the credit score, then down payment assistance program is right for you. Many programs reward steady employment, on-time payment history, and it's not just for low-income borrowers. Many people in the middle class are being priced out of homes right now. Imagine trying to come up with a 20% or even a 5% payment on $1 million home, $900,000 home. These programs are great for getting you in the game. And that is important, is getting in the game sooner than later before the loan or before the homes price you out. That's why the California Dream for All program is so important, and others like that with the shared appreciation attached to it, is because it allows you to qualify for a home you've been priced out 3 years, 4 years behind you. So with those type of programs, it's getting the abilities to purchase a home that is not only right for you, but at the right size for you as well. You have lower upfront out-of-pocket expenses. This is an obvious one. Less money out of your pocket one day on from day one. This allows you to save your down payment or your closing costs for the things that could break in a home. As soon as you purchase a home, it's like 3 months, 4 months down the line that you'll actually run into an issue where the the what do you call it, the refrigerator drops, or the stops working, or there's no dishwasher and you want a dishwasher. How about furniture? You want a new set of furniture? This allows the buyer to not use all of their reserves to purchase what's necessary for the home and home ownership. It can cover down payment and closing costs, depending on which one you go for. 100% loans are covering your down payment. The closing costs are going to be on you, but programs like CalHFA and other programs out there that will provide more than 100% financing allow you to come in with little to no money down, especially if you can negotiate with your seller. And in this time right now, it's more of a buyer's market than it is a seller's market. So especially right now, you're able to negotiate closing costs that will allow you to come in with zero to no money down. One of these loans, for example, the last California Dream for All program that we just did, my borrower got his deposit back and half of his appraisal back, as well as the one before my CalHFA before that only had $500 to come in with, and that was part of their inspection fees. Okay, so so the cash reserves equals safety, right? Because if you use up all of your down payment, if you use up all of your reserves to make the down payment and the closing costs, that leaves you vulnerable to whatever can happen. These down payment assistance programs support you in the sense that, hey, I don't have to worry too much. I do have to be able to qualify and I do have to be able to repay the loan. Those two things are going to be true. No lender out there is going to extend to you a loan that you cannot pay for, right? So when you do receive that loan, you have security in the sense that, hey, not only can I make this payment, but I didn't have to use all of my reserves to pay for it. I could purchase property, or sorry, I could purchase the furniture. I can fix whatever goes wrong in the home. If my car breaks down, I can fix it because I'm not using all of my reserves to do so. Some programs are forgivable. All DPAs though are the same, and some are forgiven for X amount of years. You could say, for example, the Green Housing Project is forgivable over 5 years, and it steps down. So if you paid off the loan in 3, you would have about, what is it, like 40% of what they gave you to pay off in order to refinance or sell the home. They require you to pay that back. But there are many that are forgivable. The California Dream for All and the CalHFA loans typically aren't, but they are great in the sense that you're able to purchase a home when you normally be able to. Paid only when you sell or refinance. Those are called what is called deferred payment. Okay, deferred payment loans means that you don't have to, or you're not required to make those payments while you hold the loan. Now, there are some that are shared appreciation, and there are some that are shared a simple interest. Simple interest means that you're going to be charged the loan amount that you borrowed times the 1 to 3% typically. So if you borrowed $100,000, then you would be paying 1,000 to 100 to $300 every year. That goes there. I think that's about right. I think that's right. So you would have that 1 to 3% simple interest that goes for every year on CalHFAs, much like the My Home and the My Access loans. Okay, now the other loans that are shared appreciation, you can get these. I believe MIPA and LIPA from LA County has these, as well as the California Dream for All, which shares about up to 20% of the down payment. And what that means is that 20%, whenever your home appreciates, let's say 100,000 for sim math, you would pay 20,000 to either the state, the county, or the city who's providing that shared appreciation second for you. Okay. The downsides, of course, there's always downsides to or trade-offs to DPAs. Now, so let's talk about it. The first is the higher interest rates. They are one of the biggest deals when accepting a down payment assistance program, is that you're going to have higher interest rates. DPAs often come with higher interest rates than the market rate that's currently being shopped around. There are programs that are super competitive. The California Dream for All. If you get the California Dream for All, you get the better interest rate. You just do. It's such an amazing loan in that sense. And you can even use it to pay down the loan, to pay down the rate. So some of it you can use to buy down the rate. There's a certain point where it makes sense, and there's a certain maximum that you can reach, but you can actually use it to buy down the rate. The last interest rate that my borrower got for a Cal half a loan was at a 5.875%. They qualified for the low income pricing, and that is all dependent on 80% of the AMI of where you are. AMI stands for area median income of the area that you live in. But it doesn't have to be it's, for example, it was 6% for normal income, and that in Los Angeles, it could be up to like 211,000, for example. So do you have higher interest rates? Yes. For example, the Orion, Suns Mortgage, a lot of these lenders, major lenders out there that give down payment assistance through FHA, raise their interest rates not only on the second by 2 points, but they're also up in the sevens. Now, Golden State Finance Authority loans, those are typically mid sixes right now. They're very competitive to everything else out there, and that's why I'm very bullish. I said bullish, sorry. That's why I very much encourage people to look into those loans, especially if you're a nurse, a police officer, any kind of first responder, a teacher. These programs actually give you a deferred interest payment on the second and gives you a 1.5% up to 1.5% gift on these. It's very, very competitive to what is out there, especially all other DPA loans. Now, would DPA loans often come with higher rates than the mortgage the market is offering? You're trading cash today for a cost over time. Okay, so you're paying more of a payment than you would if you were to come in with your 50, 60, $100,000 in down payment and closing costs. But this allows you to jump into the market when appreciation is really running wild and leveraging the home prices up higher or faster than what you can save on your own. Now, would you rather wait 3 years or pay slightly more in interest right now? That's the question you got to ask yourself. In my opinion, it's better to get into the game as soon as possible. You can always date the rate, marry the house, and refinance after. Second liens are shared appreciation. Some programs want a piece of the upside. The second mortgage or shared appreciation, they get paid when the home goes up in value. This can be anywhere from 10% to 20%. Typically, these loans are 20%. They allow the borrower to remove that mortgage insurance payment, which is something that is coveted, right? Once you hit that 20%, once you hit that 80% loan to value, 80% LTV, you're able and legally able to remove that payment from your monthly mortgage payment. A little redundant, but if you wait till 78%, they remove it anyway on your behalf. That's law. But at 80%, any borrower can call up their lender and say, "Hey, my home balance has come down to 80% of the loan, and we're allowed to remove our mortgage insurance payment from the payment," and they will go do so and honor it. It's at law that they remove it at 78%. So it gives them that buffer time. You didn't get free money, you got a partner, okay? So most of the time with DPA, unless it's a forgiven grant, you got a partner, someone that's partnering with you. Your subsidy is coming from the state, or typically state organizations supporting new home buyers, new looking to promote their community and purchasing a home. Program rules and restrictions. There's extra set of rules. There's also an extra set of underwriting that ends up going on with these loans, right? DPAs come with rules. For example, it must be owner occupied. Has to be owner occupied. You can't purchase this in an investment. They're not looking to give you free money. They're not looking to give you assistance or subsidies so that you can then make yourself rich in income with the loan. So they don't want you to use it for investment purposes and put people into to borrow to borrow money and then put people in as a renter. They want to make sure that this program is going to help people with home ownership, and they want them to live there. They want you to live there for typically 3 to 5 years. And because they want to help people who had the chance of purchasing a home, own that home, change their lives, have something for their family. The income limits. Now, there are a lot of loans that are 80% of the AMI, which makes it very difficult for a place like Los Angeles County to qualify. And the reason why I say that is because I believe it's 90,000 a year that a single person can make in Los Angeles County, but that doesn't qualify for much. You know, like a $500,000 home in Lancaster or even like in the outskirts of Los Angeles County, you're looking at like 115,000 to qualify, give or take, right? So this is very, very difficult for people who are in that range to qualify for these type of loans if when they're at the 80% AMI. But we do have loans with CalHalf that don't have this requirement. They do have income limits at like say 200,000 or so, and those are amazing. I'm just a huge fan of CalHalfa because of the deferred payments that they have and the simple interest that they incur. Doesn't even track inflation. It's just cheap money to borrow. It really is there to support you in purchasing a home. Purchase price caps, right? So you're going to have typically at least price caps at the conventional levels, which is I believe is around 822,000, and the FHA limits, wherever your FHA limits might be in your county. In this county, it's right around 222,000 as well. So you have those price caps, right? And if you're in Los Angeles, like around here in Los Angeles, you could barely get a condo for that, right? So there's definitely some strain with that. There are some hacks though. There are some down payment assistance programs that we can use to get over $1 million or so financing. Those come other those come from lenders who are offering the FHA programs that are high balance, and you would have to be in a county that offers those FHA programs, or rather those FHA loan limits, so that way you can acquire those. You got to understand though, those with typically a higher interest rates, but if you can afford it, you can afford it. And sometimes people use 2 units, 3 units to qualify in these loans. But when you try to do that with a conventional loan, instead of the 3% down, they require 5% down payment for those type of loans. So the down payment assistance kind of gets a little tricky at that point. But call us so that way we can support you. You can do your application right here, and you'll be able to know within talking with us, or rather, you'll be able to know after making an applicant what you qualify for, what program would be best for you, and if you are interested, or if it would work in your area, right? So we are of course we're professionals, but we are experts in down payment assistance programs. When the California Dream for All comes out again in this spring, you're going to hear a lot of people pontificating on it. Listen to them, but don't trust them to close these loans for you. We close these loans. We've closed many of these type of loans before. If you have any questions, If you want to know if you qualify, you want to know what's possible out there, please get ready, make an application, let us know what your questions might be, what area you live in, and we'll be more than happy to support you with that. Okay, so often, often with these programs, one final restriction is that you can't rent them out. You can't rent them out, and you can't rent them out for quite a bit of time unless you refinance the property out of the down payment assistance program. So that's very, very common thing, and it makes sense, right? They really want this to go to a family. They want it to go to somebody who's going to stay on the property, who is going to use the property for home, for their primary home. Another downside is it's harder to compete in hot markets. When some people see that you have a down payment assistance program as your in your offer, it's harder when you're not in a buyer's market. When you're in a seller's market, a seller is not going to be ecstatic about giving somebody 45 to 60 days to complete a down payment assistance program. Now, does it take us 45 days or 60 days to complete a down payment assistance program? No, and that's why you're going to want to sign with us versus the other guy, because they typically will cost 45 to 60 days of the escrow time. It's not going to be the same for us. We get these CalHFA loans 30 days or less. There's very few times that we have to deal with any kind of extension, and if there's an extension, it's not because of the down payment assistance. Okay, it's due to maybe some issues with the HOA or other external things that have happened. So we're very, very confident to close these loans within 30 days of normal escrow times. It's very common that you see other sellers be frustrated, or other selling agents be frustrated about down payment assistance programs, because they are accustomed to the LO not knowing what these programs are entail, how to execute them in a timely manner, and how to close it within those 45 days, within those 30 days time frame. So when they see an offer, a lot of LOs will ask the realtor to say, hey, can I have a 45 to 60 day escrow on this point? And because of that slower timeline, they're not excited about doing that. There is more paperwork connected to those as well. And sometimes they prefer just normal, conventional, or cash offers, where if you're going and you're competing in a market where you're seeing a lot of people bringing cash, or you're seeing a lot of people with the 20% down conventional loan, it's a stronger offer. It just is a stronger offer. When people see the California Dream for All, though, they tend to be a little more inquisitive. And when they get on the phone with me, or like, let's say the seller agent gets on the phone with me, I can really advocate for the California Dream for All, because I could tell them, look, they got the credit score, they got the income, and they are able to come in with a down payment and make all of this happen. They won the lottery. They won the lottery in this case, because this loan is such a great loan and it helps people purchase home. We're not going to have a problem closing this in 30 days. And is there extra paperwork with this? Yes, there is. And the reason why is because they have to qualify twice. What do I mean by that? It means that when you submit it to underwriting, it not only is qualified through the lender and the bank, but after it's been qualified and ready to go, and it is packaged up and sent over to CAFA. And CalHFA reviews it, and they look at it, and then they qualify it a second time. This stuff takes time. Our lenders, though, are super capable in the sense that they work with CalHFA in tandem all of the time. So that's why we feel super confident getting our paperwork done, completed, and packaged up for CalHFA to review and then send it back to us ready to go. And again, if you want more information about that, here is our application. If you just apply, and if you have any questions, please make sure to put them in the comments below. I will get to all comments and concerns. So a pro tip to stay alive is this is why we have a strong lender and good agent that matters, right? Your agent and your lender all matter. The experience allows for us to go faster, cost less because we're not getting the costs, and it makes it so that the seller is happy and willing to do business and work with us because of the experience behind us. Refinance can sell or sale can trigger a payback. So when you sell, you have to pay back your liens. That's just how this works. There's a first lien, which is your mortgage. Secondary to that is going to be your down payment assistance program. These are also known as piggybacks, but they're also known as lien if you have a grant that is forgivable, right? If you pay them back, if you sell your property or refinance your property, unless there is a resubordination on the second, you have to pay this off. Oftentimes, like loans from Chenoa, now with Chenoa, it's very common with Orion and other larger lenders out there. The Chenoa needs to be paid off. They do not resubordinate. What does resubordination means? Well, in title, when something is recorded, it all goes in line. So your first mortgage, your first is your mortgage payment. Your second will be here as your down payment assistance or your grant lien. And when you pay off your first by using a refinance, whatever goes is in second position goes up to first position. And if you're looking to add in another mortgage, it is actually going to be put in second position because your second is now in first position. So because of that, you have to have a resubordination clause that will say, hey, I understand that we're paying, what do you call it? That the first is getting paid off. I will go ahead and resubordinate myself back to the second position so that you can acquire a loan for cash out purposes. Typically not going to let you do a cash out purposes, but for a rate and term refinance, meaning that you're looking to lower your rate and get a better payment, there are a lot of loans that will allow you, or rather a lot of down payment assistance programs that will allow you to get better terms so that way you can continue to make your payments and better. Cal HAFA allows you to do this, but I believe you have to use their conventional loans, their FHA loans to qualify. And those rates are posted every day on their website. But that's how resubordination works. Now, the key line is you need an exit plan, right? Not just an entry plan. You got to understand, like, hey, you know what? In 5 years, I'm looking to refinance this thing and get myself out of it after the loan has been forgiven. Or in 5 years, I expect myself to make this much more money. So then I can pay off this appreciation loan and I can absorb the 20% payment in the future. And it's not going to harm me. It's not going to make a huge difference in my monthly payments. I can absorb those costs and pay them off. My opinion is if you have a shared appreciation loan, let that sucker stay there. If you have a silent second and a silent third with Cal half of my access, I would try to pick the best time when interest rates are the lowest, so that way you can take advantage of the best payment out there and pay off those loans and never have to worry about them again. And then at that time, you can do whatever you want with the property. You can rent it out. You can rent out three bedrooms and live in one of them. You can throw in a ADU and rent that part out. These rules and constrictions that you have with DPAs really just go away once you're able to refinance a conventional loan. So just to make sure that you guys know, apply here so that way we can get you started. If you have any questions about down payment assistance programs, please put them in the comments below. But to wrap it up, down payment assistance is help or a trap? The answer is it depends on your credit, your income, your timeline, and your long-term plan. For the right borrower, or for the right for the right borrower, DPAs are a cheat code. For the wrong borrower, they're expensive. If you don't have the income to purchase these things, it could be very challenging to keep up with the payments if you don't have a plan going in. So my job isn't to sell you a program. My job is to tell you when not to use one. If you want, next, I can do a wrap. Sorry. Next, if you want, next, I can show probably program specifics on how you can purchase. I'm going to start specifically with the California Dream for All, just because I want to get borrowers prepared for what's coming. The California Dream for All is a loan that allows borrowers to purchase for homes that they've been priced out of in 3-4 years ago. It gives you 20% payment and shared appreciation as a shared appreciation loan second, which means that you pay back 20% whenever you refinance or sell the home of the value that has been acquired. So if you made $100,000, you pay $20,000 to CalHFA, or the California state, and then you keep the $80,000. Or if you're looking to refinance, you would pay the value of the home, 20% of the extra gained equity, and then you can pay off that loan plus whatever you've borrowed from CalHFA. This is an amazing. It gives so much buying power to the borrower, and the way that I set these up is I'm able to pay for most of the closing costs, if not all of them. Okay, my borrowers get back their closing costs, their down payment. Sorry, my borrowers get back their deposits most of the time. And the reason why I say most of the time is because if they leave their deposits there, then they don't have mortgage insurance. So does it make sense? Sometimes it makes sense. But to tell you the truth, if the closing costs are about $15,000 and you're down and you're using only 5% of your benefit to pay for mortgage insurance, and your mortgage insurance is only like $40 a month, if you're using $10,000 to $15,000 and your mortgage insurance is only $41, who's going to lend you money at $15,000 for $40 a month? That is just an amazing deal. So keep the down payment. So make your down payment at 15%, and then use that 5% for closing costs, and that you don't have to come in with anything. I mean, you'll always have to pay your inspections, and we'll always. So by inspections is that you'll have a home inspection, and then you'll have an appraisal. Okay, the home inspection protects you as the buyer, and the reason why I want that home inspection is because you don't know what's underneath the house. These home inspectors, they will go around and they'll view, and they'll take a deeper look into it. Now, they're not professionals in the sense that they may be a plumber or a roofer, but what they do is they call out things for other specialists to come in. And that's what allows you to protect yourself when you're going into a purchase of a home. Is it required? No. Is it highly recommended? We will always recommend these things because anything could happen. We don't want you to get into a home and then it turns out there's a leaky faucet in the second floor and it's caused nothing but black mold, and months down the line you weren't disclosed this, but the seller didn't know and you didn't order a home inspection, so therefore it's on you. That is a nightmare. We don't want you we don't want you to go through that. So we always encourage a home inspection. That's going to come out of your pocket. Evaluation protects and by valuation I mean the appraisal. The appraisal protects the bank. It doesn't protect you. They want to know if the property is one livable on it and if the value can be lent to it. So they're going to base all of the terms on the valuation of the property, meaning that if you are looking to borrow $500,000 to purchase a home, they're only going to and the appraisal comes in at 475, they're only going to lend you against that 475 figure. Okay, to protects their payment. It's not to it protects their interest, doesn't necessarily protect your interest. So these are two separate things. One of them protects you, the other one protects the bank. You own both of them, so you have the right to get those copies of those reports. Always, we're not going to stop you from having them. We gladly give them to you, and we let you know exactly if the appraisal came in, if it came over, or typically we will let the realtor know that if it came lower than expected. So that's essentially how these two things work. They come out of pocket, but it's oftentimes that we can get your deposit back, and you don't have to come in with anything else. It's also possible to get your appraisal money back, but that is for a later time. If you have any questions about any of this, please apply. Please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. I love to deep dive into this stuff. I'm going to be changing subjects next week. So if you're really interested in down payment assistance programs, let me know. I'm going to jump into the Dream for All, Cal HAFA, and the Golden State Finance Authority, because these programs, in my opinion, are the highest return of investment that you can put yourself through in purchasing. Are there better ones? It's very possible that your city, your county, or even your state may have better programs out there. But typically, if that's true, they're limited on supply. They're limited on funds. They're a lottery system, and they're hard to navigate, which extends escrow, which extends paperwork, which makes it much harder for you to close within that 30-day escrow time, and maybe extends it to 45 to 60 days. We're far more confident with these other programs to close in 30 days or less. So we love them. We love to promote them, and they've been supporting people who aren't necessarily able to acquire the down payment, 50, 60, $100,000 to close. And that's why we love them so much. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope you had a great day today. And if you have any questions, always feel free, reach out and apply.